Hey, Matt, how are you? Happy Friday. Happy Thanksgiving, Black Friday,
Nicholas,
Cyber Monday, everything, man.
Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, big day in our world. I feel like it's the game's about to start. I'm all fired up. Big weekend in live shopping and home shopping and all of retail. So, a lot to talk about on our little podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about four topic as usual. One is Perplexity AI with their release of their new shopping app with Perplexity, the AI chatbot, which is really interesting. Then we're going to talk about nano influencer with something going on with Ulta and Sephora. We're going to talk about a little bit about US retail sentiment for the coming weeks, which is Q5. It's a really important time of the year. And then we're going to finish up with whatnot and some news around TikTok. So exciting about this topic. Why don't we get started now?
Excellent.
All right, everyone. This is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets you live stream on your website, social media, email, SMS, wherever you are. The video is shoppable. So excited to be here. I'm here with my great friend Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And today we're going to be talking about the different news about video commerce, the things that shake up the world. So Matt, why don't you get us started and tell us a little bit more about the show before we
Yeah.
dive in?
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. If you're tuning in live or for on tape, if you're walking around your neighborhood or working out or just part of your everyday work kind of regimen, this is called the Video Commerce Podcast, the VCommerce Podcast. We talk about everything related to video commerce and e-commerce. Video commerce in our world, started in direct response television, graduated into QVC and HSN, live shopping, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And now you can shop anywhere. Shop off your phone, off your tablets, off your computers, and video commerce is just taking over the retail world in the last 10 years or more. So we talk about the top four topics. We usually cover things that grab our attention. Hopefully you'll learn something in this show. Hopefully you'll have fun talking to us about our world, which is video streaming and video selling, live selling. So today's Black Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's the biggest shopping day of the year. All kinds of sales have been going on for weeks now, leading up to this day, and I think there's such excitement with shopping right now. And honestly, I'll tell the audience, like Nicholas and I work in this space, but we're not actually big shoppers, but we get caught up in the excitement, right, Nicholas? Like it's crazy, and it obviously plays into what we do. But I consider it, or I kind of equate it as a sports analogy where you're gearing up for like the big day. Black Friday is the biggest shopping day of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Friday is definitely the big shopping day, and we have a new tool to play around now. Like I don't know if you play with that personally. I did. Perplexity.ai. So the Perplexity is one of those AI bots like ChatGPT you may have heard of, or Claude, or any of those other ones. Perplexity is interesting. It's backed up by Amazon and some others. But they did an integration with Amazon actually, and also with Shopify. And it's pretty interesting. You actually are able to type what you're looking for, and then guess what? They are making some suggestion around the product. It's you can also take a picture of something and then say, hey, I'm looking for this product. Can you find a way to get this product for me? Personally, I've been using it, to be frank with you. Actually, the first day it get out, my personal experience was just amazing. I will tell you, I think this is going to really, this has really the potential of changing the way we do shopping. Honestly, I was looking for a bag that to bring on my gear, my kitesurf gears. We're about to get into some holiday vacation toward the end of the year, and I was looking for that. Every time I was looking for those gears, I was going to Amazon, I was going to all of those places, and I couldn't get to the place I wanted to go and the product I wanted to go. So we look on Amazon, we look on Facebook Marketplace. 2 weeks, couldn't get it. And then, go to Perplexity, just type a couple words about what I'm looking for. And guess what? The first recommendation was amazing. The two next products were pretty good. And, I almost did like the one-click checkout, and it was just beautiful experience. Loved it. It was amazing. I will say that shopping is changing, and that is probably a new way of doing it. What was kind of curious to me and what was surprising is that I don't know which brand I bought it from. This is I really built this relationship. No relationship was built with the product. I just needed a product, found this product, were able to get it. Um, Now I think it's the brand equity and all that needs to be built post purchase now, and that I think that is going to be something that is kind of interesting, and see how it is going to play out.
Now, I'm curious about this, and I read your the eStreaming newsletter, and I went into the Perplexity app, and I played around a little bit. Now, Nicolas, in your experience, does this give you the best price the product is available at, or the quickest shipping, or like what are the advantages other than the discovery dynamic?
Well, personally, I use it really on the premises of like help me find what I'm looking for, more like on a from a technical product perspective. I don't think it was geared toward get me the best prices or get me the best shipping. Actually, as a matter of fact, when there was no shipping information about the product, so I didn't know if I was going to get it tomorrow, if I was it's in 5 days from now, which I end up like getting in 2 weeks, more or less. But I will say that. Um, it's I guess you could maybe ask for the best price. I don't know, but like really, I think from a technical perspective, if you're looking for something very specific, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like I said, I played on it. They also have a feature called Snap to Shop. So if you don't know what the product is called, you can take a a simple picture, and they find the product for you without any kind of product description or anything. So to me, it sounds like an amazing discovery app. And of course, now we're talking about AI, so I'm sure there's ways for brands to integrate into their algorithm to highlight their products. It is pretty amazing though. If you spent 2 weeks searching for a product that you couldn't find and you found it in 2 seconds through this app, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Perplexity. It's called Perplexity. I want to play
Yeah,
a little bit more.
absolutely.
I saw a report this week, and like I said, today's Black Friday. There's so much to talk about. But something that I seriously have not put my finger on, and I love your perspective on, Nico, is there was a report from Tracker, which is a website that tracks all statistics and data through retail and probably other dynamics. Huda Beauty and Sephora are winning the micro influencer engagement. So they highlighted micro, and nano influencers are a better way to touch on consumer influences than a celebrity or someone that has 1 million followers, like a Kim Kardashian, millions of followers, Kim Kardashian, that kind of thing. A micro or nano influencer is someone with 10,000 people, I guess, followers or less. So this was a conversation I had with a few retailers I worked with 10 years ago about nano influencers and women and people that had small followers that were truly engaged. And the story back then, 10 years ago, was these nano influencers like market products, and it doesn't seem like they're being paid for it. So they just talk about their products through their social apps, and you really don't know as a consumer, are they really truly endorsing this because they love it, or are they being paid for it? Now, over the last 3 years, influencers are all over the place. You see celebrities all the time pushing product. In your opinion, coming from the eStreamly dynamic, what do you like better? Do you like the nano micro influencer, or do you like someone with a large following to grow your brand?
Well, I think it really depends like what you're looking for. So if you're looking for impression, you definitely want to get into the bigger celebrity, but that is different. I think they have a different place in the sales funnel. The impression is really about the brand awareness and creating some interest around the product by being recognized by a celebrity. If you're looking for more transaction and getting into the deep and the weed of like small communities, the nano influencers are really interesting. Their reach is much lower, but they tend to have much higher conversion rate. So I think at the end of the day, what I see a lot of brand doing is starting with nanos. Really, we on on a commission base. And I think TikTok is doing a really good job at that. And so you've got some other platform out there where you can do that. And working with those nano influencers that tend to be more approachable, they tend to communicate better with their customer, their base, and have better conversion. And then from that moment, like once you have that dynamics going on, maybe bringing on like a celebrity from time to time. But I don't think it's a necessity anymore to get that. And the big celebrity, they barely make you sell. It's really about impression. And sometimes, you know, that may not work if you're not using the right settings. So we were talking about, I remember last week, where this brand we were working with has working with this big influencer, but it was not their current settings. They work on a live streams, and that live didn't get barely any views. Why? Is because that creator, that audience was not designed and nurture for live stream. And so you have to be really careful about why you're using a larger influencer and what settings and what are you asking them. Just make sure you don't get out of the boundaries of what they're currently doing, because otherwise it's going to be expensive and the return will be very low in that case. So so that's kind of the I think working with Nano is also interesting in the sense that typically you don't pay them upfront, or you pay them a very much lower fee than what you will get. And so you have the ability to play, the 100 influencer, and then out of that there will be like 15%, 10%, 20% of them that will be really driving meaningful return, and then you can get with those 20 and then expand across to others. So it's very interesting dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about live streaming. This is what a major theme of what we talk about all the time. Isn't the fun of live streaming to connect directly with that influencer and ask them questions and how you doing? And like, there's a personalization through the live stream that you have. QVC and HSN have had on-air representatives, whether it's from the brand or we call them hired guns, which are basically experts in that field. So if it's a kitchen guest or it's an electronics guest, they might not work directly for that retailer, but they'll work through the QVC or HSN space. So that they know what they're doing. They know how to speak the language and kind of work through the presentation. Either way, those people have, I would say, a few thousand on average followers, but they're product experts. So they present the product much better than most likely a celebrity would, unless that celebrity is the founder of the brand. So QVC and HSN have played in this space with working with these micro influencers, if you want to call them that, for decades. And they've also sprinkled in Hollywood celebrities or national celebrities. We talked last week about Elton John being part of QVC's world last Saturday. Their biggest product, today's special value, was a candle, and it was an Elton John candle, and they weaved Elton's story throughout all the presentations for 24 hours. Elton John was not there live, but he was there on tape. They interviewed him. They were broadcasting from his home. So Elton John was all a part of every presentation. Elton John, famed Sir Elton John. But in my opinion, and I talked to a lot of people about it, and I followed all the sales during the day and the engagement. It was a huge engagement day for QVC that day with Elton, and they bumped up all their posts on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and things like that. But from a sales perspective, it was very common for a Saturday in mid-November. Mid-November sales on a Saturday are through the roof on QVC and HSN. And on this day, it was relative. They had a great day, but it was relative to what they would have done if they weren't broadcasting from England at Elton John's house. So then I asked, then why do it? And everyone said exactly what you were saying. It was the micro nano influencer versus Sir Elton John. Getting Elton John involved in the dynamics is going to grow clicks and likes and engagement. And then hopefully down the road, you're going to grow sales. And that was kind of how it was explained to me. So I believe it all. I think the core, if we're talking to a young entrepreneur that's getting into the live streaming space, I think the nano influencer or the micro influencer is absolutely the way to go when you're starting and you build your own audience and it's organic. And then if you're fortunate enough to get into the large influencer space, use that as a kind of a catapult to grow your sales.
Yeah. Interesting, right? So interesting dynamic. The looking at the difference between, do you look for immediate return or you're looking for impression that's going to yield result, hopefully down the line.
Right.
Really that interesting going on. Speaking of down the line and immediate return, you wanted to bring on the US retailers
Yeah. I don't know
perspective,
what
and
to
then
look.
some numbers
I
you've
don't know what to
seen.
say about this story I saw, but the story was U.S. retailers are bracing for a ho-hum holiday weekend. And they
Yeah.
were highlighting all these Chinese companies like Temu and Shein and TikTok Shop, which we talk about all the time, as forecasting a huge holiday weekend. So I'm not sure what that means for the U.S. retailers. Kind of goes into the, this is something we could talk about later, but the whole tariff dynamic that Trump might install into these international companies that are coming into the U.S. But what you showed me here, and if you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, this globe, it says all the world
Well,
sales
this
are
is
coming from China, right?
Yeah. So this is all the data flow on Shopify. So it's pretty interesting. Right now, there's about 3.9 million of sales per minute. It's funny because when we started the show, we were at 4.2. So it sounds like it's declining slightly. It's not. Maybe people are shopping earlier in the morning than about now. But yeah, so this is the whole flow of data moving from one place to another. And so you can see the US is obviously super big, and then Europe. But it's interesting to see those dynamics. So for the one that are curious and want to play with numbers, I started to kind of go. There's a guy that I follow on LinkedIn that went to the rabbit hole of looking at the data flow and how things are playing out. There are some insight that you can drive out of it. But personally, I'm not educated enough to be able to do that, and I haven't spent the time. But I just found it's pretty cool. So if you want to check it out, it's called bfcm.shopify.com. And then you will be able to see a bunch of Black Friday real-time sales data moving around the globe. So pretty interesting from that perspective. And so speaking of sales data and fun for the holidays, if you guys are looking to experiment for the first time live shopping, there's really two places where you can do that today. Obviously, I don't want to do any specific thing regarding merchant that are on different platform, but there are like two easy places. One not just announced that for 24 hours there will be taking no commission. So for pretty much all European and North American countries. So if you want to do like an auction-based live shopping, that's the place where you can experiment that. And then obviously you will have the usual suspect on TikTok. Although it was interesting, I heard that and I have been seeing some reports that the discount are not as steep on TikTok because they are now at a place where, compared to last year, where they were trying to grow their base. Now they do have a very good base, and they are not subsidizing as many of the TikTok Shop products. So it's just interesting to see those dynamics going on. So if you were shopping last year, you probably got some really cool deal that's going to be hard for you to get them again. But that is the two things that I'm. If you want to experiment live shopping, obviously you can go to any of the merchants that's on Extremely. You will be able to explore some cool things there as well. But yeah, that's been going on. Do you have any special shout out for you, Matt?
Well,
Or
Nicholas, on top, kind of piggybacking on that, Thanksgiving is the latest it could possibly be in the calendar. So like Christmas is 3 weeks away. It's coming up quick, or I know less than a month away. So I've seen sales. I've seen websites promoting serious discounting for the last week and a half leading up to today. It's an incredible, amazing time to get a deal. So if you're shopping for yourself or shopping for, gift giving, like it's crazy. I think retailers are taking margin hits just to get ahead of the game a little bit with the Black Friday sales. And I think you're going to see retailers run out of inventory as the holidays come closer. I think this weekend is just going to be amazing.
yeah, I mean,
There's
one less week than usually, right? So it's going to be
it feels that way.
concentrated.
I don't ever remember. I know everyone always hypes Black Friday, but it feels like the discounting is greater than ever before. Maybe the competition is greater than ever before. It's just
Well, I mean, retailers have really 1 week less to move things compared to previous years. So,
yeah, if you're working on
you
right.
you really have to make the effort somewhere else. And because remember, like the deadline for shipping is coming up very fast, right? Is it the 13th of December or something like that?
Yeah.
So you know, if you're an e-com, you gotta get your order back on track by that day to get them shipped, so the user can receive them to the house before the 24. So
Unless you're
that
paying
is, you know, that is like
that
they
expedited
literally
ship.
the racing for 13 days from today to, you know, so it's a race, and I think people are on it right now. So
Oh, it's an incredible race, and I think this weekend's going to determine everyone's
yeah.
fourth quarter, which is really it's fun to talk about. I know it's anxious for everyone, but I wanted to call it. I love your newsletter. Honestly, obviously, I read it every week. But you posted some specs this week, which I think are like incredible blueprints for anyone that wants to get in the video commerce space. Can you quickly just talk about the video specs and the home shopping or live shopping solution specs that you posted?
Yeah, so this is a document that I think was I have been wanting to create for some time. It's basically the specification sheet of live shopping and shoppable video. It basically tells you what are the different features you can get from the technology, and you know, the different file format, and you know, all the quality, and then so it gives a snapshot. I think anyone that is like more like looking from a technical perspective, they give you a sense of, okay, what is the product doing, what is the product not doing, and so it gives you a sense of that. And then I try to build it up a little bit, some of the benefits, and then, you know, what's the setup look like, and then couple ideas on use case. But the reality is really like the core is like I wanted to create a document that people can pass around in a company and say, okay, well, this is what it takes. That is what the product looks like. That's what the product is going to do, and that's what people should account for. So that is something that we created. It's a very common type of document that you have into other type of industries, you know, like from the food industries or anything else. And I felt that would be a good practice to have that, so people can pass that around and have a good sense of what that the product does and doesn't do also, right? Because, you know, we're all salespeople in a way, right? So you always say things, and then now it's written, so you can get to see exactly and understand it better. So
Now, anyone, we've said it before, but anyone that works in the e-commerce space has to consider live selling, live shopping. It's just part of the shopper's DNA these days. So I think that I call them blueprints and you call them spec sheets, like whatever it is, it gives you a little bit of an insight on the tech side of things and
yeah,
what can be accomplished working through eStreamly and companies like yours. So
totally.
bravo for posting that. Hopefully your audience can digest it and use it as a reference as they consider video shopping.
Awesome. All right, Matt. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks the audience for being here. We are here every Friday on YouTube, obviously Facebook and LinkedIn as well. If you have any question by then, prefer to chat out. We are just here every Friday. So if you want to join us, come join us, and I will be excited to see you again, Matt. It's been a delightful Friday. I think a lot going on. I personally am excited to. You know, I think I'm going to stop midday and then I'm going to go shopping. Honestly.
Nice. So am I. And you know what? As much fun as it is to preview the sales for Black Friday, it's also fun to dissect it. Monday morning quarterbacking. So tune in next week. We'll have all the stats, all the numbers of what happened this week, and how, you know, basically the winners and the losers of Black Friday weekend. So thank you very much for tuning into the VCommerce podcast. Nicolas, have a great extended weekend. Have fun. And I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we will see you again next week. Bye.